Welcome everybody to a new episode of our Release a Snyder Cut podcast series. This is episode 13. This is Source Wall with your boy Kojay and 44.
What is good, everybody?
Hope you're all playing Streets of Rage as we were talking about. Hi everybody, howdy.
Yeah, I am just playing Streets of Rage right now, chilling.
I am doing the same.
In my humble abode.
How's the weather over there though? It's starting to get hot as hell
today.
here. Is it raining?
Yeah.
Oh damn.
It was, the weather was a little crummy, you know. But, nothing too bad.
Well, a good reason to stay in. Hee. That's still going on. Hopefully everyone's being safe.
Yeah, I guess the lockdown is coming to a close, so
I get that feeling. I had a lot more traffic today.
Yeah, everybody, just be patient and you'll be back to your regular scheduled programming very soon.
And still, the doctors I know, half of them are still saying that it'll be over in like May or June. So if they're right, that'd be cool. But as far as predictions go, I was wrong about the April 20th being a Snyder Cut release. I was hoping it was, but it wasn't. So Sean O'Connell was right. He said that untitled movie that was supposed to come out was not it, and he was right.
Yeah, sorry guys, but I kind of figured that too.
You did. I think you did mention that. You weren't too sure. But that's fair game.
It was most likely a canceled movie, probably the Cyborg movie.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
All those canceled DC movies that we were supposed to have by now, but
Hold on, let me take a look at this. Would be beautiful. I did do a tweet about it not too long ago, or a post on whatchamacallit, my Instagram.
Well, while you do that, there's talk that WB could still be eyeing Henry Cavill for another Superman film.
Yeah, the whispers I saw was that they're putting a hold on Supergirl and moving to Superman. Was that it?
Yeah.
Now that's kind of weird to me because I figure you could easily make a Superman 2 movie where the story is the intro of Supergirl. Have both of them in that shit.
Yeah, that's true. They could do that. Do you think WB is smart enough to do something like that, Kojay?
I think they should be, and the question is, are they creative enough to think that way? I think they're smart.
This is a new segment on Source Wall called The Obvious Answer. Will WB pick the obvious answer, Kojay?
At this point, I don't know, but I think no.
Oh, I don't think so either, Kojay.
Yeah, the track record has not been that creative or innovative for a while, and that is disappointing.
Yeah. WB has proven that they are incompetent dumbasses that are sitting on a treasure trove of IPs that they have no idea what to do with. So,
yeah.
We can put up hopes for another Superman movie, and maybe it could very well have Henry Cavill in it, but don't hold your breath. There could still be sitting in there. Sitting in that trick bag. Always be a trick bag.
So I had this post on I found it was actually on Twitter. It was 2016 or around that time, or 2015 or early 2000. Yeah, I think it was 2015 post where they showed their 2016 slate, or like 2016 and on. And then I found the similar one that Marvel did, and Marvel had Civil War, Captain America, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Black Panther, Captain Marvel, Avengers Part 1? Is that right? Yeah. Doctor Strange, Thor Ragnarok. Oh, no. Avengers Part 1, Doctor Strange, Thor Ragnarok, and then Avengers Part 2, and then Inhumans. All, but, obviously not in that order. And I put a little note that all those were delivered. And then the DC one was BVS, March 25th, 2016. Suicide Squad, August 5th, 2016. Wonder Woman, June 23rd, 2017. Justice League Part 1, November 17th, 2017. Flash, March 23rd, 2018. Aquaman, July 27th, 2018. Shazam, April 5th, 2019. Justice League Part 2, June 14th, 2019. And Cyborg, April 3rd, 2020. And Green Lantern Corps, June 19th, 2020. And so far, we have delivered, and I put Suicide Squad as delivered-ish. Wonder Woman was delivered. Justice League Part 1 canceled. Flash has been postponed. Aquaman was delivered. Shazam was altered. I put altered because I swear I heard, just like in the same fashion that BVS was leaked and spoiled for me, that Shazam was going to have like Shazam team up with World's Finest. I don't know how far along that plan was, but it'd be cool to see Shazam team up with like a fine-tuned team of Batman and Superman, but they had the Shazam kids instead. And obviously, seeing how they cut off Superman's head tells me
which
that
was
they,
corny.
yeah,
Which was
tells
which
me
was
they couldn't
corny
figure it out to get him
and
there
and
in time.
completely undercut the Shazam character, in my opinion. I know everyone's gonna say, but the Shazam family is in the comics, but it's like, yeah, if you want to talk about rushing things, like you feel
That could
me,
have been
like,
great for a
well,
part two.
yeah, that could have been great for a part four.
That too, you know, let him
There
have
could have
time to
been a
breathe.
there could have been a there yeah exactly there could have been a whole trilogy about Billy Batson before y'all even really dug that deep into, like, you feel me, this is the Shazam family, aka formerly known as the Marvel family. Like, it was
Mm-hmm.
just like having all those extra Shazams in there, you feel me, in the first film, especially at the end when it came to saving the day, really undercut, you feel me, Shazam as the character itself, and it didn't really make him seem that cool or important as a character, and he didn't really solve the problem or save the day on his own. Like, which is,
Mm-hmm.
another huge thing, which is a staple in, films like this. You feel me? I feel like if they are really gonna go for that, and have it, be multiple Shazam kids, they should have just did it in reverse, and just had it be the version where it's multiple kids that turn into one character, you know, cause so then it could be a better film about, you feel what I mean, all these kids and all their separate lives that they have. You feel me? Of course, they would have to. There would be no Billy Batson in that. Maybe they could be and just roll with it, and it'd be about all their separate lives and all the stuff they're going through and how they will all have to come together. You feel me? As friends and, as a group and form Shazam, kind of like, Captain Planet,
Mm-hmm.
But the Shazam film just didn't really work for me on that level. And on top of that, for me personally, I kind of wanted it to be a little bit more old school. Like, that's something I will say, even with the Shazam film, was like, Shazam, um, Superman had the opportunity to be modernized because there were already a few Superman films before that. But I would have liked to see, the first Shazam slash Captain Marvel film to lean a little bit more into, the old school, and dare I say, the nostalgia. You feel what I mean? When it came
Mm.
to the character, and not only just the character, but the story that was, being told. I would have liked to spend a lot more time with with Billy on his own than with, you feel what I mean,
Yeah.
the rest of the Shazam kids at all. Like, I didn't really want to meet them or had to meet them yet. But that's just me. Like, I would have liked to see him be younger too. You feel me? I would have liked to see him be a younger character, or even like around 10. You feel what I mean? With, same powers, and, seeing
Yeah,
him
wasn't
having
he
to
like what,
navigate. He was like
16 or
14
15?
or
Oh yeah.
16 in the film. I don't know. But yeah, that's, just my opinion. And yeah, like you said, it seemed like they just kind of maybe just made the wrong decisions at the end.
Yeah, and I can't help but take Shazam as a tonal direction symbol of change. It's like, all right, we'll take out what we could have done with actual hero cameos, like they do so successfully in Marvel films, actually, and we're gonna change. everything and show you that DC, like, use Shazam as a symbol that
It,
this is what DC is, and DC is going to focus on the Marvel family aspect of DC. Thank you. Good luck, motherfuckers.
yeah, but it's like it just showed you that WB just doesn't have you know their shit in order when it comes to the DCU and how what they want to do with it and
Or faith
their
in their own
planning. Cause
product.
yeah, because you're right. It should have been a way more organic thing to have some cameos in there and set up and everything. But instead, you feel me? You're having contract disputes with fucking Superman. And it's stupid, and it kind of just shows that you feel me. Y'all didn't really have much faith to begin with in this whole thing. I didn't have a plan set up to where you know just look at it like Ben Affleck was there for there and out the door like almost in an instant. You feel what I mean? Based on how they handled it. Like, you
Mm.
didn't. Like, y'all threw away contracts. Y'all didn't handle contracts well. You feel me? Y'all have people under contracts that do films, and y'all wasted them on, you feel me, whack trash films and whole reshot films, and you threw away whole storylines. It was just all over the place. So it doesn't really surprise me that they weren't able to get a Superman or a Batman in Shazam or a Wonder Woman because like they just didn't plan for it, and that wasn't their expectation for the film. It was just like, all right, we're about to just throw out this. They're about to just throw out this, this kid film, this Superman for kids film,
Mm.
and see how it works. They weren't thinking about how this is going to connect into the greater universe or what was established before. They were really just trying to piggyback off of what was established before, just to try to get as many fans of the earlier films on board, and it just didn't work. They pretty much tried to do what Marvel did too. Like WB tried to copy Marvel in so many ways, and they tried to put it on Snyder, but it was really WB. Like WB even thought like, oh yeah, because even when you think about it, even with Avengers 2, fucking Marvel switched it up at the last second with Avengers and started recasting, key characters and all this
Mm-hmm.
shit at the last minute and doing all this extra shit. And they even had reshoots and all this shit too. And throughout the film, and it still made $1 billion because I guess Marvel fans and the general audience didn't really care about all that extra shit.
As long as they get
And
more of it, and
yeah,
at
and
least they get more of what they
unfortunately,
love.
WB thought they could do the same thing, and they just were not in the same situation. They were not in the same circumstance, and it didn't work for them. You feel me? Like, but they essentially tried to do the same thing with these films. We're just like, well, we'll just switch it up halfway through or midway through, and motherfuckers would be down with it and cool with it, because Marvel did the same thing. You feel me? And it's like, I don't know, it didn't really work.
Yeah.
At least it didn't work. At least it didn't work the way they wanted it to work.
No way. So then, that's Shazam. And then after that, you're supposed to have Justice League Part 2, which was canceled, Cyborg, which is canceled, and Green Lantern Corps, that was canceled. So I felt that if they just honored their slate and stayed the same path, we would have been here today with a more hyped fan base, a consistent universe, then people could actually go, oh, that's what he meant. That's what Snyder was building up this whole time. It all comes together. It makes sense because I saw the slate and I knew Justice League Part 1 and 2 was on the plate and ready to deliver. So when I saw the nightmare scene in Batman v Superman, I thought, oh shit, this is what we're going to get in the future. They're doing some legit foreshadowing right now. They're not just hinting at it. Because I remember in Winter Soldier, they name dropped Doctor Strange and other key important characters of that universe that they were going to kill in the plot of that satellite laser or machine gun technology with the hover bases. I forgot what they're called. My bad.
Oh,
But
Agent Ultron, I think that happened.
yeah, and then
With
stuff like that.
the laser beams in space that would shoot all the undesirables.
Or the people who pose the greatest threat, who would pose any government or something. I forgot. I have to watch that thing again. But yeah, they name dropped Doctor Strange on the list and all this stuff, and of people of importance, and that was cool. Then we saw them later. It's like they stuck to their guns, and but they meant that was all in dialogue. In BVS, we got a scene of things to come. That is just fire right there. It's like, yo, this is just the beginning of a bigger picture. And then I think either people were too stupid or too impatient to even pick up on that. Because I don't know what they're expecting with BVS. And I
it
love the
was a
tone of BVS. It was
it
perfect
was a
because,
combination of a lot of things.
yeah,
It was that you know film buffs didn't want comic book films to take themselves seriously. You
yeah, I think
know,
they like the
it was
campy style
it was
with no
also
consequence.
it was also the competition between Marvel and DC
Mm.
that nobody wanted to acknowledge, and you had Marvel fans and people that were obsessed with the Marvel formula, like actively trashing DC anytime they could. You feel me? On even before films are coming out, like,
Yeah,
and that's the whole thing. Like, and that's why people always go back and look at BVS because they can try to gas all they want, but people remember how people were even talking trash about that film before it was even out. Even regular people
hmm,
know that shit and remember that shit. Like as one people remember, like, damn, people was hating on that movie. You feel me? Like they was hating on it before the movie was even out. These motherfuckers was on the internet
yeah, and
trashing
that
the
proves a
movie,
point I had
every little
too.
thing.
Yeah, because earlier I
They was
always
ready to
said,
hate that movie before, and there
right,
hasn't really been a movie since that people really had that reaction for, even the Star Wars movie. And people be
hmm,
hating on those two movies too, but like the people had a lot of really unwarranted reasons to hate on the movie. Like they was just nitpicking the shit out of everything. You feel me? Like,
yeah, and it proved a point too, because I was like, all right, they're doing their own path. They love the seriousness and taking that serious consequence tone of the Nolan universe, and they're being a little bit more taking fantasy tones with Zack Snyder's DCEU that he set up, and I was like, cool, I like this. That's cool. And because I knew whatever DC was going to do with their films, Marvel fans are going to hate it regardless. For that exact point, they were hating it even before it came out. And imagine if they did do the exact beats and tones and recyclable medium shots and the average green screen with none of depth or interaction in their backgrounds. Sorry, that's a little harsh, but that's a big difference I find between Marvel and DC films, or specifically Snyder films. No, the serious DC films. I'll say that is that if they did do that Marvel tone, they would hate DC and just say, hey, they're just copying Marvel. So the fact that they hate it, regardless, at least they hated it, but it was original. It was doing its own thing. They stuck to their guns,
yeah,
and
right.
I give mad
And I don't
ballsy
even
props
think
for
people.
that.
I don't even too, because you have to look at it from the
They
perspective. It's
full.
like when you have the when you're living in the world of biased fandom, you feel what I mean, and biased media. Like, can you really say any
Mm.
of these movies were bad based on the criteria that they put out and how they judge them? You feel what I mean? It's like, yo, like the bar is kind of low. You feel, especially in that's what kind of funny when it comes to a lot of films now. It's like based on how the media is, and the critic bubble is in the industry now. Like they're so far left, especially even when it comes to the average populace. That, you feel me, a movie can be fire and hit all the right notes for the populace in that day and age, and, like, you feel me, droves of fucking critics will come out, you feel what I mean, and say the shit is whack and give
Hmm.
10,000 reasons why it's whack and why you don't like it. And then when you go look into it, it's really about more about their own sensibilities and ideologies and things like of that nature. And it's even the same thing, with fandom too. It's like, certain films come out and, motherfuckers that have a slew of reasons, why they didn't like it. You feel me? But you feel me? When you really go look into it, only a select few of those people actually have real, criticism that you can actually, that can actually hold water. You feel me? They're like, all right, yeah, I feel you. That I feel why you didn't like that or didn't. That makes sense. Like,
Right.
and the majority of them, you feel what I mean, have the most stupidest, like, gatekeeper, you feel what I mean, backwards mentality and reasons for not liking, you feel me? Not only you feel me, just regular films, and but CBMs too. Even just down to the legendary "Not My Superman" comment. Like, oh, dude, that's so
Yeah.
like not my Superman. I don't feel like that's how Superman would act. And it's like,
And
okay,
I hate that because that
it's so
film
low
very
brain. You feel me?
subjective
Like
because it was
yeah.
more it's like it had nothing to do with the film itself. It had something to do with just the creative
And
direction.
that's the issue. Another thing is that critics nowadays, unlike critics in the past, well, not as much in the past, they lean so much on subjectivity in film. You feel what I mean? When
Mm,
you're supposed to be looking at film from the lens of objectivity and subjectivity. You feel what I
mm,
mean? It's almost like when you're looking through the 3D glasses. They're not gonna give you a lens that's fucking blue and the other one's blue too. No, this one of them, the other one's gonna be red. You feel me? But people lean so hard into the subjectivity so they can get away with how all their bullshit ass opinions with how they feel about these things, about how they feel about these films. But in reality, when you look at it from an objective, technical standpoint, you blow most of their arguments out the water, and it's just revealed as opinion. You feel what I mean?
mm-hmm.
Like like real shit. You can sit here all day and say like, oh, I don't like fucking Seven Samurai. You feel me? Like I don't like Seven Samurai. You can give 1,000 reasons why Seven Samurai is garbage. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
But it don't really matter because when you look at it objectively, you feel me? That film was still, you feel me? I mean, you feel me? A feat for its time. You feel me? That shit
Mm-hmm.
was an epic feat of cinema for its time, and you feel me? And paved the way for thousands of other films before it. And
They're
it's a
just
damn
like it.
classic.
Magnificent
And and,
Seven,
and,
Seven
and if you
Swords.
and if you look
Yeah.
and if you just look at it from a technical standpoint, the shit is a masterpiece. So
Mm-hmm.
now we'll go back to your subjective side of things and how you just feel about shit, and we'll compare it to the objective side to see if it fucking matters. And no, it doesn't. Like you can have the
Mm-hmm.
subjective side. It exists. It exists for you to run around there and just have your asinine opinions on shit. But the objective side is there for motherfuckers that actually want to use logic and make sense of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like and
That's
that's
how.
what it comes down
Yeah.
to.
Yeah. I'll accept my issues with Shazam is definitely my subjective because it's my opinion because I don't like the direction they went in. And then I have some people like, whoa, how could you not like the direction you went in? I was like, wait, did you also not say the same thing about BBS? You do not like the direction it's gone in? But that's gold. And then when I say the same thing and have valid, similar reasons because it's a tonal change, well, of course it's my opinion, so I feel it's valid. But it's like the same medicine or same dish I gave them that they gave me before, but theirs is more important than. It's like, man, don't make sense. It's all subjective there. Critically, they're totally
Yeah.
different, you know.
Like when it comes to jam, like subjectively, like I don't really mind it that much. Like it's an alright film. You feel what I
Right?
mean? It hits its marks and does what it's trying to do. I guess you feel me? Like I can't just toss it on whenever and be like, oh yeah, I'm watching Shazam. But you feel what I mean? Like if it's like halfway through, you feel me? I can maybe make it through the end. You feel me? Like but if I'm gonna look at it objectively, which I usually do on most shit anyway, you feel me? Because most men are ruled by logic anyway. Just saying, you feel me?
Mm.
Except for the dudes that be all up in their feelings. Like the shit was whack. You feel me? It was trash. You feel me? From a directorial standpoint,
Dang.
it was like that shit was phoned in like a motherfucker. You feel me? Like what do you from the depths? There was no depths in that film whatsoever. You feel me? The cinematography was whack. It was trash.
Yeah, when I get in the
I
mood to
won't,
try
I
and
won't go
watch
that
it.
far. It was all right. The cinematography, I ain't kill it that bad. The cinematography was very okay.
Mm.
The script was terrible,
Oh man.
terrible. The acting was terrible. Bro, I'll give the bro Billy Batson, the young Billy Batson. What's his name? Asher Angel or whatever his name is. I'll give him his props. I'll give him that. He killed it. Zachary Levi ruined it. He
I'm
was
not a fan of
whack.
that actor.
He was a terrible choice. Like you got the young bruh Billy acting, you feel me? Like Billy acting all, stoic and you chill, laid back dude. You feel what I mean? Young guy trying to understand the world, and then he turned into the Shazam and he turned into a complete goofball. They don't even act the same. And on top of that, that's not even how Captain Marvel acts. Like, yo, that's not even how dude acts when he even turns into Shazam. It's like, so just that,
Because
like, just off that alone, like, y'all threw Mark Strong in there, like, yo, y'all throw Mark Strong and everything. That is y'all go-to antagonist, dude. Like, bro, give the nigga a rest. Like, everybody's mad, like, oh man, Mark Strong, right? Like, bro, Mark Strong was in the Green Lantern movie.
he was a dope ass Sinestro though.
That's why he's in this movie.
Mm.
That's what I'm saying. Stop leaning on Mark Strong. Like, I know the niggas. I know he got Strong in his name, but it's like, give the man's back some rest. Like, you on his back. Like, oh man, like, oh, Mark Strong in this movie. Yeah, great actor. He's the shit. Like, oh, like, he's gonna kill it. Like, did he really kill it though? Or did he really just do the same thing he always do? And like, it's like, bro, Mark Strong is not, no sought after actor like that, bro. You feel me? Like, I'm trying to tell you, man. It's like, if they tried to really gas it that, like, Mark Strong was playing Dr. Savannah. It was like, so? Like, man, I don't know. This shit, it like, like, objectively, it's like, yo, the movie was not that popping, bro. It really wasn't.
Wow.
And it really had me look at it like, man, based on the standard that I have for DC films, this shit is not cutting it.
Man,
Like,
when I get in the mood to
it's
check
not
it
cutting
out,
it.
when I get in the mood to watch Shazam, I just kind of pop Kick-Ass in instead.
Like, bro, they had fucking what's bro's name? Jimin Hansu. They had this dude in there with a Dookie dread wig on, talking about I am the great wizard. Like, bruh,
Oh yeah, yeah.
this shit was low quality.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Shit was bruh. Like they try to toss that to you, like, bruh. That shit could have hit Netflix overnight, and nobody would have been shocked. People would have been like, oh damn, they would talk to Shazam, DC movie on Netflix, and they would have tossed that shit on. Them like, oh yeah, that makes sense, I get it, yeah. Like, it's like that's not even to play out Netflix or anything too, but you know them movies that you feel what I mean. A certain movie that they just toss on Netflix, you just pop up one day, you talk like, oh damn, why is this shit on Netflix? This shit is like actually has a really interesting premise. You toss it on, you like have like, oh, I see now. Oh yeah, y'all almost had something here, but you feel me? Like, yeah, there's a lot of key places where y'all fucked up. Like that's where Shazam is. Like Shazam is. But yeah, if I'm just gonna talk about it, like, you feel me? Like, subjectively, it's like, yeah, it's a chill film. It's a little, they try, it's a little chill film, Like, I don't hate it with the passion, you feel me? Like, it's very, it could be entertaining, depending on what mood you're in, you feel me? Like there was a few times that I almost put on Shazam. Like, I haven't watched it since the first time I watched it, but
That's honest.
There's a few times where I saw it on the Prime, my Amazon Prime, and I looked at it. I'm like, yeah.
Hey, did you see that short Shazam Superman? That little team up they had. That was great.
It came out a few years ago, right?
Yeah,
well, not a few,
yeah.
but a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of years ago.
A lot of years ago, I think.
At
Let me
this
look at
point,
my
we're
animated
old.
collection. It's probably like 7 years ago. I don't know, something like that. But that was a great one. I love that one.
Yeah.
Like, if they have an opportunity to go really hard with this one, like maybe have like fucking Black M like kill off the Shazam family or something. Oof.
Yeah.
That'd be
I
intense.
mean, I guess that'll put them to good use.
Yeah. Because then, in a way, you're kind of making your own little team there. You're only like Super Sentai Power Ranger.
Either way, they're gonna do something drastic because It's just that the way they're
They
handling
have
it
to
right
up the
now,
stakes, I feel.
it's just not gonna mesh well. It's not gonna mesh well with the universe that they already have established. That's why they're gonna try to just do their little side universe with Black Adam and Shazam over there, and then try their trump card is try to bring it all together while having Henry Cavill Superman, come
Hmm.
in and connect it all. Because then, if they can do that, then they can technically say that it's all connected. So I mean, like,
And then guilt trip you into having to like it.
yeah, but we'll see. Because that Shazam at the starting point is not looking good, and even them even them pushing it back, and that's why even with Zach Levi's latest quote on Shazam, like anytime they even say something about Shazam, like you can tell that they do not have that much confidence.
What was the latest quote? Remind me, please.
I think he said something about like they're throwing around ideas and saying, well, he said something like they're trying their best to make sure that the next one is better than the first. And it's like, yeah, it's like,
It's
I
all
bet you
apologetic like
are.
that?
Well, yeah, like I bet you are, nigga. Like for real. Excuse my language, but I bet you are, because that first one was whack, like for real. And that's what I mean. If you like, maybe they can survive off the bubblegum pop shit. That's really what they want. They really want to push DC on that bubblegum pop shit. Back in the back on the way when they was fucking censoring comics and shit. Back in the fucking 60s and 70s shit. You know. And they want to push it back like that, and it's just not working because there's just been too long of people getting that non-bubblegum pop DC for me.
They had that bubblegum
So
pop DC chance in the 90s, and that was the perfect time if they were going to do this shit. But I think the audience has matured since then, big time.
they had it, but people got to understand. But even that only geared towards a certain demographic. Like those shits, like back in like the Lois and Clark days, and what was it? That's the Superboy days, and
Yeah, that was
even down
before
to
Lewis and
even
Clark, yeah.
and even the Lois and Clark and down to Smallville. Like Smallville was the first show out of all the Superman, modern Superman shows. People was fucking with that. People actually fucking fucked with and actually watched for the
Shit, I fucked
storyline.
with it since season 5 and up, because I was like, Fortress of Solitude? Oh shit, we're going to see Superman soon. 5 years
Yeah,
later, I was
like
like,
but
oh, okay, there he is.
before that, bruh, like Superboy and Lois and Clark, like man, that shit was background noise in American
Mm-hmm.
homes. I
Hell
don't
yeah.
want to hear it. And motherfuckers wasn't really watching that shit. That shit was background noise shows. That's what I call
Washing the
it.
dishes
Background.
movies or shows.
Well, yeah, exactly. You feel me? Motherfuckers toss on Superboy and shit. You feel me? While they doing their taxes, and you feel me? You feel me? The babysitter put on Superboy and shit. The kid's not even watching it. They're over there playing with fucking Transformers and shit. Like so,
Mm-hmm.
it was like, it was like I don't know what y'all. It's like it like that then and that's how they tried to sell it, but like people wasn't really feeling it like that. Like that's what I mean. They try to. It's like it's like I don't mean want to shit on the "Make America Great Again" slogan, but it's like the make America great again. Back to like how it used to be. You got to slow motherfuckers down. Like, oh, slow down, because a lot of things back then wasn't so damn great. You feel what I mean? Take your damn nostalgia glasses off for a second, bro.
Yeah, yeah. That's what when people are like, hardcore and nostalgic. I feel it's like that "Make America Great Again"
And, yeah,
vibe. I
and
was
one
like,
of the
yo, you
one
forgot
of
our
those things was
progress, people.
Superman.
What the fuck?
Yeah, like yeah, we gotta make America bring Superman back to how it used to be back in. No, we chill out. See, now you don't need to do all that. Superman was corny back in the day. I'm sorry to tell you now, dude was corny back in the day. He's cool now. Finally, it took a long time, You feel what I mean? We got him in the spot where he's chilling. He's cool.
Yeah, I feel like they caught up
You're
to
trying to
his like dopeness in the comics. His like
yeah,
depth.
you're trying to bring him back onto that corny Uncle Sam shit. Nah, we don't want to see that. Like we'll make some other things great again. There's other things that needs to be made great. We'll focus on that. We got to watch these motherfuckers because they'll just try to turn the clock back on everything. You know what I mean? It's like nah, fuck that. Nigga. Don't touch that clock over there. That one's good. That clock over there. That one, you see that one? That one's fucked up. Go fuck with that one. You feel me? Like, for real. I'm just saying, like, and like it will be interesting to see what they. Well, actually, I don't think it will be that interesting to see what they do with the character next unless Snyder's involved. So that rolls us into the Snyder cut.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Uh,
really the next thing I want to see.
yeah, and
Superman in.
then I would feel complete. They could do whatever the fuck they want, you know, because it's their property or whatever. But that film is made, finished, packaged, ready for delivery. All you gotta do is put the stamp on it and put it in the mailbox, and we got it. That's all you gotta fucking do.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
there's a lot of arguments like, oh, the VFX and all his pictures. I was like, man, whatever pictures he shows you or pictures he could show you, it doesn't matter it doesn't prove what state it's in at the moment, you know? Does the guy want to give you spoilers? No, he's still quiet about the resurrection of Superman. He hasn't really spilled the beans exactly how that goes down. You know what I mean? And I respect that he doesn't want any spoilers. So of course, show behind the scenes, show the sketches, show this. That doesn't mean the state it's in. It's just a little cute preview without spoiling of what you can expect and what happened. And when the man says it's done, it's done. I don't question him. I respect Snyder enough to not question his work and what he says. That's one reason why I don't like the 40 Club logic and all that bullshit, because everyone's like talking like, oh, it's not complete, which is all, you know, just sounds like Jeff Johns all over again, just spoken from other people, which is the definition of shills, I think, right? So yeah, you go.
yeah.
I don't know where I was going with that. I just got fired.
Well, I was gonna ask you. So where do you feel like we are as far as progress in getting the Snyder cut? You know, do you think we'll be getting an announcement soon, seeing it soon, and is
Uh,
there any how much fight is there left in the war?
it's really hard because man, it's a war where we do these big swings, we get these wins here and there, like Netflix, uh, wanting to buy Snyder Cut or the rights to show it on Netflix is huge. That's a big knock on the door and saying, hey, there's money in this, right? So that's a win. But the problem is, every win we have, it's like uh, it's like if you see a basketball game, they have a little scoreboard showing you how many points they've accumulated, so you see how close they are to winning, or whatever. The only problem is with Snyder Cut, when we get a win, we don't know how many points we got to win the game. That's a part that I don't like about this situation. That's the stressful part, and I think only Snyder knows that. And I feel that there's a lot of positive things that's coming, but I still do not know when. And I would like an announcement. I think that would get people hyped and all that. But I don't know, man. I think it has to come out this year though, because the hype's too much high and it's really good. The only thing is like I think this coronavirus has put a damper on everybody and has confused a lot of companies on what to do, on how to move forward
Well,
and when.
Snyder hasn't said much about the Snyder cut in a while.
Yeah, and usually when he
What?
does, I think it's for leverage. Maybe he doesn't need leverage now. Why? Maybe it is coming out. Because the last thing we had
Maybe.
him talk about was the end of that screening thing, right? Where he playfully teased, hey, I wonder what happens to these guys.
Yeah,
He didn't end it
I
with
think.
like, thanks guys, keep fighting. Hopefully we'll get this. He didn't end with something like that. He had a comedic response to, you know, the situation.
Yeah, you're right. You can say that was kind of the last thing he said or put out regarding
Yeah, for me, that's the
this.
most valid only clue that we have of where it's at. And if he's able to joke about it in a little fashion like that, it strikes confidence to me. And we know he wants it. He knows we want it. So to have a little confident joke like that, what
So
do you think?
when do you think we'll find out that it's coming and we're getting it?
Around the launch of HBO Max. I think it'll either be part of it or HBO Max will launch, and depending on numbers, they'll see if they need it to boost it up or not, and
Yeah,
or if they're good
because you
just to release
know
it for home release.
if if they announce it, I'll sign up for HBO Max immediately. I won't even wait
Yeah, is there a
until the shit
lifetime
comes out.
membership, please? I will put down money
Yeah,
for
like
that.
all they have to do is announce it, say
Mhm.
that it's coming and shit. I'll be sitting there watching Looney Tunes until the shit come out.
Mhm.
Trust me. You feel me? Like
I'll
I
catch
ain't
up.
I
I'll
ain't
rewatch this Smallville season 1 to 4. The ones I don't have it on Blu-ray. I mean DVD, not Blu-ray.
for real. Like so.
Because about network streaming services, I personally don't like them. Because I like having the content without having to without having to rely on internet speeds. That kills a lot of modes. And when I have it on Blu-ray or even DVD, my home system is set up for the nicest experience I could have at home, and I love the shit out of that. That's like my jam. That's my favorite thing. Some people work on their cars, people work on their motorcycles. People you know have their fine-tuned hobbies or things that they're passionate about. Mine is home entertainment, and
So you
having on a
invest in
hard
your man
copy is
cave.
the best. More like my little club that only VIP access. Me and a few others get to enjoy. But
A man cave.
all right, whatever. So
What's wrong with the man cave?
no, it just feels like only limited people could come in. I don't know.
Well, that's essentially what a man cave is.
Yeah, but people are welcome to it. So we have like watch parties and turn into a party if other people come over. It's great. Like Super Bowl kind of situation where it's a whole
Yeah,
bunch
like
of people.
you're right, Kojay.
Would that be a man cave? No, 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 I'm down. You correct me, man. You're the young one here.
No,
So
you're old and wiser. You are correct.
thank you, son. So anyways, so when you have streaming services, that there's you can't the quality isn't always there, so it's not that great. Like I got Titan season 1. I thought that was okay, solid show, but the quality of watching it on Blu-ray hands down beats any streaming service. However, I do like the ease of having a streaming service because I have the WWE network and the Man Classic. I'm a huge fan of. I can only have that on the streaming service, and the only bad thing is I have to pause it, wait for it to buffer to start off with good quality if I'm not wired connection. But it's there and it's good, and I have access to it all the time if I want to enjoy that show. So I know if they release a Snyder cut on it, that's the only thing I'll be watching. That and maybe Babylon 5 and a few other things that I want to watch pronto with ease. But again, even that's not guaranteed because they have region restrictions on those things. I think maybe or maybe not. So if they have region constrictions and shit, I definitely have to have it on hard copy.
Word. I understand all that. I get what you're
Yeah, but
saying.
if they announce it, shoot, I'm there. I'm with them. Give it to me and then release it on hard copy.
Yeah,
And
because
just out
I'll
of
be
good
getting a
faith,
copy
I will
too.
stay loyal to them because I'll be
Definitely getting a
saying
hard
thank
copy.
you. It has to be in hard copy. Because a lot of Netflix movies and it's movies, but yeah, Netflix releases a lot of stuff on Blu-ray when it hits a certain popularity. Like you could get Stranger Things on Blu-ray and enjoy that shit at home. 'Cause that shit is fire.
That is true.
Can't wait till they release Dark Crystal on Blu-ray, the season 1, and even Kingdom.
And there's a lot of movies, like new movies, that come out on Blu-ray pretty quick that Netflix will just send to you.
Hmm.
If you would rather just watch, the better quality version than the streaming version.
Oh yeah, like old school. That's how they started. It was a mailing service. Back when they had shit like GameFly was hot, where they just mail you, and I'm sure pretty sure it's still around, where they just mail you the game, and you rent it for however you want. Put another game on the list of what you want. So when you're
Is
done, all you have to do
GameFly
is
still
mail it in.
around?
I don't know. I hope it is because that's what got me to buy a bunch of PS3 games. I was like, shit.
Yeah, I had GameFly for a little while.
It was great because if you like the game, they're like, all right, here, buy it, and then we'll send you the box art and all the stuff to go with it. You just keep the disc. It's yours. You're like, hell yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty convenient.
Yeah, you didn't have to wait on a game. You just got it. And you're like, oh, maybe I'll feel it. You check out. You're like, shit, I love this. This is my jam. Boom,
But
owned.
streaming games a lot more,
That shit sucks.
and it's harder to pull off than streaming films. So
It's
that's
not
why
smooth, man. I don't like it.
as soon they're just gonna have a download service where they're gonna have just certain games you can download. Well, like Xbox Game Pass already has something like that.
Yeah,
You can just
Xbox is doing it
download the
right in that
games.
part. This PlayStation, what now? I'm not a fan of.
Yeah, the way PlayStation is doing it is not really that great. Not great at
Mhm.
all, actually.
You.
Because if you're really gonna have all those games up there, you should just allow people to download them and do what they want with them. But I guess that opens up piracy and everything. But
How much can you win against piracy? It's wrong. Yeah, you gotta do what you can, but trying to police the people who actually don't do piracy is the messed up part. Why do we gotta get punished for following the rules?
that's true.
So yeah, that's what I feel on that.
Because even if you get off like on PC, if you get a game on Steam, you can pretty much access all the game files and everything pretty very easily and everything. But if you get a game off Microsoft and everything, you have to pretty much unlock like your administrator lock on there. They have this weird lock on there that pretty much blocks all access to like apps and games that you get on Microsoft or Microsoft games, so you pretty much can't modify them and you feel me
Mm,
check the files and essentially copy them and pirate whatever program they are. But
right.
it's like it's really pointless because like in a few button clicks, I can get around that permanently. Like you feel what I mean? Because it's my computer. Like, you know what I mean?
Yo, I
Like,
didn't mind messing with the computer hacks because, well, not computer hacks, but messing around with computer files because I had this game called Worms on the computer, and then when I looked into the files on the audio, I saw that all the voices were WAV files. So I played them, and they were just recordings of people doing the ooh ah and all the comments. So what me and my friends did, we did, oh shit, we could record WAV files. So we copied those files and into another file, named it after me, and then acting like a voice actor, which is kind of fun. I made my own and my own phrases, and then I just put that in the file. So when I loaded the game, my voice file was there. So then all these worms were saying the shit I usually say, and it was fun as fuck, man. That was great.
yeah,
I
it's
miss
like
having that, even though it's not official.
the people still do that to this day. It's called modding.
Yep, early modding.
But
Uh,
what do you think Snyder's gonna drop something for the movement soon or leave a flag for us in any type of way?
the thing I like about Snyder, I think I, I don't know when he will, but he when he does is usually a time when it's very important to help him move the movement forward. You know what I mean? So I don't know about soon. I think he will when it's needed. That's when I think we're in a good state right now. You know what I mean? Like if he needs it, he'll call upon it. You know, he'll post something to hype it up because he does everything with reason. You know, he might be cruising because maybe he has his own answer and he's just being respectful and letting the announcement come however they want. Do you think he'll say something soon?
Well, I think maybe more towards the middle or end of the month.
Hmm.
Because we don't really know what's going down with him and his life and everything, especially with all this, coronavirus stuff going around. So,
Right.
and hey, the last word that we did hear on it is that, they're just waiting to do the additional scenes, and, you know, Hollywood was kind of shut down. Well, the industry was shut down because of the virus. So, if
Mm-hmm.
that if that supposed to be true, then the shit should be dying down soon. And hopefully we'll hear something about those scenes being shot.
Mm-hmm. And I'm wondering what is Hollywood being dying down? Are they coming back? Because I've seen posts from some fellow colleagues in the indie scene, and they're filming little stuff already, and maybe that's okay because they're a smaller crew. But I see them in action. I see people more on the freeway on my end, and I'm closer to Hollywood, so maybe things are picking up again.
Yeah, maybe.
And if so,
We,
then hopefully soon,
we shall see.
mm. I do gotta say that people online have to chill out. I think they take a little things too personal.
I agree.
Because honestly, uh, a
There's
fandom
too
is
too
different from
many
a fan
people running
club.
around for clout too.
Yeah, and that's on their own uh, time and decision to do. Because at the end of the day, you still gotta do your daily life. What someone says, what this person says, da 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 da. It doesn't change that your Sunday is gonna be your Sunday. Your Monday is gonna be your Monday. Your week to week routine is gonna be the same. Like we could communicate with proper communication, but any like crazy arguments against like the anti-Snyder cultists and all that shit, or people who want to trigger you, nothing changes your daily life. So don't take it to heart. That's crazy.
Yeah, 100% agree. And let's
Yeah.
try to focus on what's important. The
Uh huh.
movement.
Because the
Think,
people want to sell you shit are the people who have the most to gain from you getting emotionally all riled up. Because even my friends in the pro wrestling fandom world, even they have experienced the shills and the toxic people. Because there's people who are like, Vince McMahon and Stephanie McMahon can do no wrong. They are the definition of wrestling. We're like, who the hell are you? Did you get paid to say that? What the hell? And then they're saying the same shit that we hear from, Club Jeff Johns and all those fools, right? So I know that they're different worlds, different fandoms, but they still have the same problem. That tells me that that's a legitimate thing that maybe some company people are trying to force to sell their product more, is to force the idea, force the demand. By having these goofball accounts and people, just be like, cheerleaders, like in the
hey, you
thirsty
could
way.
be right. And that is a thing too. They do have little social media
Yeah, I
influencers
thought it was a
and pros
joke.
that work for these corporations, and you feel me, that's spread dissidence and all that shit.
Mm-hmm. Oh, shit. So is that truly art? Nah. That's like, I don't
Nah,
know. That's like selling drugs on the street or something.
it's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's just shady business practices.
Mm-hmm. This is a shame because superheroes are all about doing good and being yourself, do the right thing, and then you get all this nasty reception of quote unquote fans who love heroes, yet they act like the anti-hero, or not even anti-hero. They act like the villains. They act like fucking Bulk and Skull. It's like, oh, little Power Rangers, and why are you behaving like Bulk and Skull in real life? What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Why don't you emulate, be like Tommy or freaking Billy or freaking Zack, Kimberly, Trini. But you're acting like a freaking Bulk and Skull in real life. What the fuck?
Some
uh,
people, man, they they just don't know how to be at peace, you know.
yeah. Uh, uh. But,
And there's just some people in the
mhm.
world that just want to cause trouble for others, you know.
Yeah.
People got to understand that there is people in the movement, you know, even others that will come from outside, wolves in sheep's clothing that will come around just to
Mhm.
try to derail shit.
Mhm. Or they just want fame. I feel like the 40 Club mentality is exactly that. I think, because I can't. One thing I can't understand about 40 Club logic mentality. I say it like that because I think anyone can, get off that shit and not be stupid. I have a couple friends who I've made who were of that 40 Club logic, and they admit it, and they're like, "Man, this is bullshit. I had to wake the fuck up." Right? Well, not in those terms, but that's the Cliff Notes version of exactly what they said. And what the fuck was I saying? The one thing I don't like about it is that like Snyder will say, "All right, the film is 214 minutes long," and then out of nowhere, 40 Club like a month later say, or 2 months later, they're like, "No, we need the 165 minute." And then I was like, "What the fuck? That's not what Zack said." And then Zack would say, "Yeah, the film's done." And then 40 Club Logic would be like, so okay, maybe quote quote done, but it's not finished." I was like, "Wait, what the fuck? What did Zack just tell you right now?" And then another one is, and this was in summer of, I think it was summer of 2019, and it was even in Chris Wong's video where he said maybe there could be a Snyder Cut released in parts. And I remember online we were butting heads with 40 Club. They said that it should be like a mini series. I'm
At
like,
this point,
what the fuck is that coming
Chris
around? That's coming
Wong,
back.
Chris Wong
That
just, you
was old,
know,
summer 2019 ish, of cutting it in parts. It's like, why? It's like, I'm almost done. But it's like, the 40 Club logic is like, Zack Snyder will say something, and they say something totally opposite, and it just sounds like a narrative of Warner Brothers or whoever wanting to change Justice League to continue to edit it for whatever reason and not have what Zack Snyder wants. You know what I mean? All right, I'm done. You go.
I feel you. But yeah, I was gonna say at this point, certain people like Chris Wong and specifically Chris Wong just cling to whatever they can get and they just run with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
At
feel he
this point,
means well. He just gets hyper
they
and
don't they
hyped
don't
with
they
info.
don't they don't they don't run anything through a filter. You feel what I mean? Like at this point, and I can say that I can say that after this long because it's been a while. And like Chris Wong is definitely good for that. Like any piece of Snyder Cut propaganda that someone passes to him, he'll just spew it out on his podcast. You
And he
know,
openly says it too with the tinfoil.
yeah, like you know, and he doesn't really do any vetting of any information.
Yeah, he just kind
You
of puts
know,
it out there.
so it's like that. That's why you have a lot of people, you know, pushing backwards narratives, saying the same old nonsense over and over again, because
Mm,
they're not even really, cross referencing it with anything that was already said or presented in the past or what anything that they've already proven as fact. So like you
mm,
said, Zack Snyder can come out and say, "Oh, it's 214 minutes," and then like you feel me, 2 weeks from then, a month from then, you got people over here talking about a 165 minute cut. You feel what I mean? It's like, where did that come from? And they're just running with it. They're just completely running with it. Like, and it's like okay,
yeah.
and then when you just give them the facts, like, well, aren't we just gonna stick to the facts of what we know? It's like, oh no, I heard this and I know that, and it's all about sources and this, that, and the third. And it's like, well, I don't know. very silly.
Yeah.
It's just very silly mentality.
Thus is a 40 club. So,
Well, not just 40 Club, but
well,
just
yeah, yeah. That's just.
certain people in the movement in general. I hate
Mm,
to say it, but it branches out outside of just 40 Club.
this is true. This is true.
There's even people now that they want to drop the release of Snyder cut hashtag and just push Zack Snyder JL. I don't know.
Now, for wrestling, that
They're
didn't
trying to
work either. Because they were.
yeah
The
they're trying to
hashtag
where are
give
you
TV.
going?
Oh, sorry.
Nah, go on.
Oh, okay. Because the hashtag for Give Divas a Chance, because they really wanted the women's division in pro wrestling to step up, because they were loaded with talent, but they were all getting like 2 minute matches where it's like one move or two moves and then the match is over. They just see the ladies out because whatever eye candy or something. But these women want to wrestle. They want to fight because they busted their ass for it, but they were not given a chance. Hence, hey, we want the women's division treated with respect. Let them fight. And then the hashtag stayed consistent. Hashtag give divas a chance. And then eventually, the very headstrong, also stubborn owner Vince McMahon replied, "We hear you. Keep watching." And then we saw the change happen. The most beautiful thing that ever happened. See, I was part of that for not active. I was like a quiet fan because Snarka has a lot of quiet fans. People who subscribe, people who watch, people who root for us, but they don't really voice out their opinion. They're just casual, they're just chill. They look at us and they're like, "Oh, what's new here? Oh, that's a fact. Cool. I hope it comes out." And that's it. There's a lot of people like that, and we fight for them. So I was like that on the end of Give Divas Chance. I saw it. I was like, "Oh shoot, I hope that happens." But a part of me was like, I don't know if it'll happen, but I hope it does. But I was really casual with it, and I saw it happen, and I was like, "Oh shit, he responded! Holy shit!" And I was watching, and boom, it exploded in its own thing. Now we got a whole new division. They have whole new line of toys that they can market. They uh, now have a they've doubled their fan base because now girls and women are totally into it now for the right reasons. And you have your Charlotte Flairs, you have your Becky Lynch, and then sometimes they steal the show, they make the show, and you wouldn't have had that if you didn't listen to the hashtag and gave it a chance, literally. And that hashtag never changed, never expired. People kept it because that had a theme, that had a thing. So we getting rid of release of Snyder Cut is preposterous. It's weak, I think. It's more like, oh, well, we're bored with that. Let's have fun. Let's do something else. It feels more like a fan base rather than a fandom. It feels less of a movement, more of I don't know, a
Nah,
hobby,
you're right.
you know?
Exactly, you're right. If by changing the hashtag from release of Snyder cut to just Zack Snyder's JL, just come off like more of a fan club thing.
Hmm.
It doesn't really like the name of the movement can't the name of the movement can't be the name of the movie too. you know.
Right? I mean, I'm down rocking both. Make no mistake. If I have to double my posts just to promote either, shit, I'll do that. But release of Snyder Cut is here to stay because that's the meaning of our movement. That's what started, and to change that would admit would almost like being like, all right, you can edit us, that's fine. Theatrical cut, yeah, that's like theatrical cut, watered down logic.
No, you're right. I agree.
So I'm not down with that, man.
Ain't
Release a
they
Snyder
down with
Cut
that
until we
theatrical
have
cut
Zack
logic?
Snyder's Justice League. Uh-huh.
But yeah, any well, there was some Ayer cut news.
Ooh,
David Ayer was talking about how
Jared Leto had more scenes and he wished they were shown.
yeah he released an image of I guess something that was cut from the third act.
Oh, so tell us about that
So
image.
slowly but surely he's talking about it more.
Now, if
I
he's
think
talking about it more, hmm.
yeah maybe there's something coming down the line with that we don't know about.
Mm, so true. I hope so, man. That'd be great because I like Suicide Squad, and then when you watch it, you can tell there's something missing. That they, it's like an abridged version of something phenomenal.
I feel you. Like Dragon Ball Z abridged.
Yeah.
Only if there was no original Dragon Ball Z version.
Oh man,
Like damn,
that's
anime would be
unfathomable,
so
man.
anime would be so good if it just took itself seriously a little bit.
Hmm.
That's what people would say.
Well, the manga is pretty serious, but things get lost in translation. It's just the way of things, unfortunately.
Oh no, Dragon Ball Z is still serious regardless of translation.
Oh yeah,
But
definitely. It's just that I don't know. For me, it
they
takes
just
me
they
out.
they did they just edited down over the years.
Mm.
Like especially now with the Z Kai, like people say like, oh, Z Kai is more like the manga and there's no filler and extra stuff. It's like, well, they also censored it, so
Yeah. Didn't they take out a few sagas?
yeah, they took out all the filler sagas, but they also censored it. And the
Ew.
filler sagas weren't even bad. Like they were just filler. Like,
Yeah, filler ain't bad either, because sometimes these shows go on so long, like fucking One Piece. Uh, they go on so long, and it's not bad to take a stop and go, hey, let's catch up on this shit, because we're gonna, it's gonna mean something later on, Or look how far we've
yeah,
come.
that's why
It's a nice
I take
celebration.
mean breaks on One Piece. Like I'll go months, like long at like then there maybe a whole year before I start watching One Piece again. Because you're right, there's hella episodes of that shit.
Hmm. Props to
Can't
that.
be
That's quite a feat, but whoo,
can't
that's
be
a lot
sitting
to
there
ask for
watching
someone
that
trying to
shit
get into it.
24/7.
Hmm.
But yeah, animes like that are good for binge watching, I guess.
Yeah, man. And
But
if
yeah,
you're in
a
quarantine,
lot
check
of
out
people
One
have been
Piece. You will not get bored.
a lot of people have been talking about Justice League Dark too, or Justice League Apocalypse War or something. Yeah,
Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. Yeah, I pre-ordered that. I mean, it's available right now for digital, and wait. I think it is available in stores. I just buy it on Amazon, so I gotta wait. But uh, besides, I found it cheaper too. Hee hee hee. And then what's funny is I think it takes some Zack Snyder nods. It looks like from some of the memes and clips I've seen online, and shows more of the point of quote quote it being too dark and gritty and intense. There's a whole lot of bullshit because the animated stuff is doing that. Zack Snyder did that. It's like, come on
damn.
now, to deliver what the animated films go through, because sometimes animated films go harder than the live action films. They have more creative leeway and freedom, and that's one thing I liked about Zack Snyder's approach is because he had that seamless creative vibe to take it epically and give us more shots than just the stagnant same old locations and places. Wow, I need to
Yeah,
tell you
you're
that.
right.
But yeah,
Well, got any last words
yeah,
before we
we
wrap this
have
one up?
some T-shirt uh ink to the people. Let me get my Twitter up because I posted there, so let me just go down the list. But yeah, there are some campaigns y'all could buy like a T-shirt of, and the profits go to American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, just like Zack Snyder's Justice League shirt did. And these are mostly fan made or organized, which is really good and great, I think. I'm just trying to find where I put that tweet though. And I think everyone should take part in this, especially if you want to support the movement and I don't know, do a good thing. Just in general, charity is good because it is Mental Health Awareness Month right now. So there is that Release the Snyder guy cut guy one that was made, and that's actually hit its goal. Man, I can't find this tweet. guess I tweeted too much. And then there's the one that haha, even I'm on. It's the We Are Release a Snyder Cut. Just type in release on Inkto People, you'll find these shirts. And so definitely get that one. That one's available for I think 22 more days. But yeah, your boy Kojay's on that. Actually didn't foresee it coming like that. I thought it was just an event. I must have missed that update, so I was super surprised. So, anyways, that thing is cool. And Ben W started a nice wristband collection for Release a Snyder Cut and suicide prevention. And then Ink to the People. I forget. I don't know who set this up, but there's also another one where you could buy a mask that you wear during this COVID-19 pandemic, and it has Zack Snyder's Justice League logo on it as well. So that's like 4 things you could take part of to help promote the movement and give back to charity for American Foundation of Suicide Prevention. Nothing but good stuff, keep the good faith going.
Word. All that sounds very good.
Yeah, I'll have
Very
Sourcewell
interesting
retweet
shit.
them or whatever, but yeah, that's going on. So have fun, rock the gear, spread awareness, and bring about change.
Oh yeah, release the
Positive
Snyder
change.
Cut too.
Hell fucking yeah. What else you got, B?
Well, yeah, that's about it for me. Nothing
What words of
really.
wisdom can you leave us with? What are your final thoughts?
Um,
Where can we go from here? What should we be doing?
don't trust WB.
I
Not until the Snyder Cut is in your hands,
feel that.
or or at least in front of your eyes, and that's it.
Hell yeah. Alright. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next episode, I guess. Release the Snyder Cut.
Release the Snyder Cut, bitches.